Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Millen, joined by Josh Burns.
What up?
Brian, unfortunately, couldn't be here. He's actually stuck inside an IMAX theater for his 7th screening of The Rise of Skywalker. And I say that's a good choice. Load up on your green milk and, just power through it.
I have not seen The Rise of Skywalker yet.
Really good.
All right.
We'll be talking about it next week, too. We'll have our spoiler cast for it.
Spurler
cursed. All right, so I want to jump right into this. I want to talk about the world of TV and movies in a segment that we call Screen to Stream. And I get to say it that way because Brian's not here to give me crap.
He's not here to chastise you.
Oh, it feels so good. Speaking of Rise of Skywalker, this is not a spoiler or anything, but I went and saw it in IMAX for my second showing. And I was introduced to the prologue of Tenet, the new Chris Nolan movie. And it's like a 5-minute prologue before this movie, just showing basically what I assume is like the opening scene. This isn't new for Chris Nolan. He loves doing that. It was shot entirely on IMAX cameras, so it's formatted perfectly for the screen viewing experience that was right in front of you. And it looks really freaking cool. They also dropped a trailer as well. I don't know what to think. I just want to see it, obviously, but like, whoa, a lot going on here.
Yeah, I like John David Washington. I did not see Black Klansman, but I really like him in Ballers. So,
okay.
I'm on board there. Robert Pattinson, I'm not sure, but it's Christopher Nolan. So, okay, I'm bought in.
I have been saying since we heard that Robert Pattinson is going to be Batman that I'm bought in, and I'm going to give him the benefit of remembering that Twilight was over 10 years ago. Right?
I completely forgot he's going to be Batman.
All right, he's going to be Batman, so he's fine. He's also in a movie with Willem Dafoe. Like, you can't be a bad actor in a movie with Willem Dafoe.
Well, all right.
Whoa, what was that?
But I mean, you can be.
I mean, okay. Well, then you become a better actor for having been in a movie with Willem Dafoe? Like sharing scenes with Willem Dafoe, like on a one-on-one. Like, you have to leave being a better actor, right?
Because if you don't, he will murder you.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Oh yeah, he'll just eat you in your sleep.
right.
Like a python. He'll lay next to you. He'll stretch out real long, figure out how long he has to be, and then he'll just eat you.
Make crazy eyes and do that weird smile at you.
Yeah.
Right.
This is really cool, man. I like the time-bending aspect of this. I love heist movies, so hey, yay, another heist movie from Nolan. Loves to start movies with heists. This has a feel to me of the opening of Dark Knight with the bank robbing scene being shot in IMAX as well. It just has that whole what the fuck is going on feel to it, and then ends with a huge twist. I don't say it's formulaic because I don't think Nolan can do formulaic, but man, just super intriguing. I just want to see that movie like right away.
Yeah, this is gonna be like next level shit. I think I watched the trailer maybe 3-4 times and I'm still like, I have no idea.
This is lucky for him. This is a movie that's technically going to come out in 2020, so it'll be on our next movies of the decade list. I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty impactful movie. So
yay!
Add it to the list. This was announced a few weeks ago, but we didn't get a chance to talk about it. It is obviously the time of Keanu Reeves, both the year and I think it's the millennia,
the era, not area,
the era of Keanu Reeves. Warner Brothers has announced a couple things.
Not renounced.
They have renounced The Flash. They said, hey, by the way, remember this Flash movie? Yeah, well, we got a date. It's July 1st, 2022. And we're all just like, okay, sure. Believe it when I see it. I look forward to your next announcement when you announce a new director and or that you're pushing it or canceling it.
Not what renounce means.
Stay tuned. It's what renounce means.
It's not what renounce means.
But they did announce that The Matrix 4 will get a release date of May 21st, 2021.
Yay!
And then we also heard, oh, hey, John Wick Chapter 4 also has a release date. It's May 21st, 2021.
Plot twist. It's John Wick 4, Matrix 4.
It's the same movie. They're not two separate movies. They're one and the same.
John Wick was his residual consciousness. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like he was just
the thing that was plugged in.
Yeah.
Yes. It was Mr. Anderson was just his cover for until he got into the guild. I mean, this is fun. I mean, obviously, this isn't going to stay this way, right? You can't pin Keanu versus Keanu. That doesn't work, right?
Can they just have it at, like, back to back in the same
The same thing, right? I buy one ticket and stay in one seat and see both movies.
I mean, I'll pay double the price.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what needs to happen.
That's exactly what needs to happen. I'm just thinking that would be freaking awesome.
It would be awesome.
I hope you get a collector's edition popcorn. Like, I need an extra large popcorn then at that point. Like, give me two buckets.
No, CJ. I think just the bucket you eat during the trailers of the first movie will be quite enough.
Wait, my bucket has a handle and it makes me through one movie. It's true. My popcorn bucket does have a handle, though. That's the sad part about it.
They have small, which is not small.
Right.
They have small, medium, large, and metric fuck ton size.
And I go for metric fuck ton, also because it's more economical because I pay $4 for the bucket. I'm, of course, talking about the AMC bucket, everybody. If you're not on board for the annual bucket at your local AMC, you're doing popcorn wrong. All right? Anyway, there's no way they stay with these dates, right? Has there ever been a time where it's a movie star against themselves like this?
If it's...
Like opening?
I mean, why not? It's the same studio. What do they care?
But it's the same audience. Are they expecting you can't triple stamp a double stamp here? I can't. I don't have that much time set up for this.
I don't know, man. I don't really like.
Because if you had to choose, which one are you picking?
I guess it depends on the Matrix trailer.
The trailer for the Matrix is what's going to make it for you.
Yeah, because I know what I'm getting with John Wick.
Right.
So, like, I mean, I'm incredibly interested to see where they go with that story after he plugged himself into the source. Like, how, he was liquefied. You know what I mean? Right. Like, dude disappeared.
See, because for me, I think I'm more interested in the Matrix than John Wick 4. Nothing against.
Is this the start of a new Matrix? Does he come back as a program? Like, I'm interested.
Right. I don't know how Trinity and everything filters in this. I have so many Matrix questions.
Well, Trinity's not. She's not going to be
in this movie. Yes.
What?
Yes, confirmed.
How can Carrie-Anne Moss be confirmed in this movie?
She is confirmed in this movie.
Wow.
Right? So what is this?
I don't know.
I just don't know what to do with it.
Warner Brothers. Could Ezra Miller show up and make it Flashpoint?
There it is. There it is. We make it a Flashpoint. All right. Well, stay close. Stay tuned as May 2021 comes around the corner. I'm sure we're going to hear that this movie is getting moved around. One of these movies is moving. And I hope it's John Wick earlier. Give me John Wick earlier and take your time on The Matrix. Don't rush The Matrix. Let it take its time. Let it breathe. Let it do its thing. I want to talk about a trailer that came out that I know Brian gives zero shits about. So, Josh, I'm so glad you are here. We got a trailer for the adapted, right? Broadway adapted In the Heights.
Yep.
This, of course, was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is known for his wonderful creation Hamilton, as well as a very small role in 3 episodes of House.
Yeah, he was actually good in House, but In the Heights was his first big show.
This was the first Tony thing. This is what put him all over the map. It's pretty incredible, and it's actually starring one of his Hamilton alumni.
It's Anthony Ramos. He played 2 roles on stage. I saw the trailer. The trailer looks good. I just don't know how you adapt a show like this into Rent didn't go incredibly well.
No, but I think you just do this I'm not saying you do this the exact same way. You do this like you do a West Side Story. I mean, just way easier to adapt something like this. A lot of great theatrical cuts into it. You place it in the real world a little bit. I think that works out really well. I don't think Rent worked that great as a movie, as much as I love Rent.
No, that's what I'm saying. It did not work as a movie.
I think this one will. I think because this is way more about the city and that particular, about Washington Heights. You can really make that a character versus Rent, which is really about those people, and New York was a backdrop to it. It wasn't necessarily the whole thing.
I guess, but it was kind of about the village. You know what I mean? It was Alphabet City.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. I'm just saying this one, obviously, Washington Heights is way more important. I mean, it's called In the Heights. I mean, like, it really is one of the characters. It looks really great, though. I mean, I think it just looks like a sheer blast of joy and a lot of fun. Plus, you get to see Matt Santos in this as well there, Josh.
Jimmy Smits, yeah.
Jimmy Smits is popping up.
Did this get a rating yet?
I don't know if it did.
I don't see it on the IMDb page. That's why I'm asking.
I don't. It's summer of 2020, so they obviously have some time. I'd imagine this is a PG-13 movie at the highest.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's
Christian to be able to see it.
a cuss word in there, but other than that, I'm pretty sure you're safe. Oh yeah, this is definitely something you could take Christian to see. I no doubt you could definitely take him to see that. Speaking though of Christian watching something, I have to know if you have watched John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch.
Yeah, we have.
It is surreal. And listen, if you had to say, hey guys, I'm sorry, you can only talk about one topic for the rest of this podcast, and it can't be comic books and it can't be movies, what are you gonna do? We'd be like, oh, we're a John Mulaney podcast. We'll just transfer into a John Mulaney podcast. I think that works for us here.
It was very funny. It was not. I didn't find it hokey at all. It was very cool, and the cameos were excellent.
I love the fact that, like, listen, this is an honest to God children's special, performed by kids, written by adults. Just a really wacky, out there at a left field thing. So here's the question. They even made a joke about it in the special that if it works, right? We planned it and it was fine. And if it doesn't, it's meant to be ironic. And that's just we just have to take it that way. So did it work for you? Did you think it was good enough to warrant a follow up, or just say, hey, this was a good project?
I mean, obviously, I'd rather see a John Mulaney stand up. But this was very entertaining.
The biggest cameo to me that really just made it work was the Jake Gyllenhaal cameo at the end.
The Jake Gyllenhaal cameo was fantastic.
First off, I've got gift material going out at my ears now.
He was really good.
And it just looks really funny. The one thing though that I definitely got a chuckle at, and I even made my daughter watch it, was the kid freaking out about lunch, and I only like one dish, and it's plain pasta with a little bit of butter. And I was like, that is my freaking kid. That is my kid through and through. I only like one dish, and it's plain pasta with a little bit of butter. That is my kid. So I'm just losing it on this. It was definitely weird, definitely out there. If you're not into John Mulaney, I don't know if I can convince you to watch this.
If you're not into John Mulaney, who hurt you?
What happened? And also, how did you make it through this podcast? But I would definitely recommend, if you're looking for something just a little bit weird, a little bit off the beaten path, or again, if you love John Mulaney, definitely watch John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch. It's definitely worth it. Is that another set? Am I paying for this? Good one-liner Mulaney.
Right.
Finally, since it is the end of the year, our last episode, which by the way I thought was fantastic. I enjoyed the last episode so much, and I've been really enjoying the fan feedback that's coming to you, and some of you are still sending me your lists for the best movies of the decade. Send them in, please. I'm enjoying reading them and having the discussion around that. But I did want to take a moment to talk about something that we didn't talk about. That was some of the disappointing movies of 2019. And I have to say, right now, the thing that's really on the top of the list is Cats. Cats has a $100 million budget for this movie. And the last time I looked at it, which I think was Thursday, it had made $15 million worldwide, Josh.
Didn't it do like 6 million opening weekend or something?
Something terrible like that. And they even did like a patch for the movie. So if you saw it opening weekend, first off, hi, I'd like to talk to you and what your life is like. And secondly, they patched it to make it look a little better. Apparently there was a scene where someone's hand was a human hand with rings all over it. And like, oh, wait, we forgot that you're a cat. Let's fix that. So, man, I just don't get this. I don't get this movie. But Mashable put together a list of some other ones that fell off. So I wanted to get to that.
Look, I saw the list and I went, this is a list of movies I didn't see at all. Wait, why is Captain Marvel on this list? I don't understand it.
Yeah, this says like number 7.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's there. I don't understand how anyone could call Captain Marvel a flop or say Sam Jackson carried the film. I don't agree. Yeah. Oh, it's like the second sentence in the paragraph.
Oh my god, look at that.
What?
No.
So really, this was more like I wanted to talk about somebody making a crappy list.
I want to shock somebody and put Captain Marvel in there. I would also like to notice that number 8 on this list is Last Christmas with Emilia Clarke, who Brian will probably fight me on this because I know he saw this movie. Cannot pick a movie to save her life. She can't pick movies. Whoever's in charge of getting her career guidance, stop. Just go retire. Because every movie that she makes is dog crap. It's just awful.
The Terminator movie?
That was bad. I hated it. That was Genesis. I didn't like Genesis.
Okay.
I did not enjoy Genesis. The Me Before You movie I thought was terrible, and then Last Christmas I thought that was bad too. So just
I didn't see Me Before You.
Me Before You was pretty bad. So just ugh. I think it's safe to say when you're looking back at the state of movies of 2019, right, and you're pointing your finger at that wasn't good or wow that really bombed. I don't think a Marvel movie could be in that list. That just makes no sense to me. Like Captain Marvel is not the movie that I would highlight and say, well, clearly that just missed the mark.
It doesn't. No, it makes no sense. No sense.
Yeah. And I mean, if any of you are following me on Instagram, you see me rate movies, and I'm a tough freaking grader. Like I didn't enjoy Knives Out and stuff like that, but I wouldn't call that even a flop. It was a good movie. Like it did well. Like so. These lists are just getting a little bit out of hand, and that's why I like the fact that we focused on like the best movies of the decade rather than kind of breaking down the best and worst. All right, well now that we're talking about disappointing things, let's talk about stuff that we loved, but it involves the world of comics. So we're going to talk about how it's affecting TV and movies. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Cape Talk.
Cape Talk.
Oh, Brian, you're not here, but yet you're still here. Still here. Joshua.
Yeah.
I think we all have had enough time to digest and or watch Watchmen on HBO.
I hope so. Yes.
I would like to give a warning to any of you listeners out there who haven't watched this. Go watch Watchmen because
gotta watch it.
I
must watch.
Right, it's a must watch, and I want to talk a little bit about just that show in general, its run, and some larger questions around it. So this is your spoiler alert if you haven't seen Watchmen on HBO. And I think the lead kind of comes in with the question in which the article poses that we have in the show notes is, do we even want a second season of Watchmen? And I'll go a step further. Do we even need a second season of Watchmen? Because do I want one? Yes. But do we need it? I don't think so.
Really?
I thought this show, this miniseries or this season, whatever you want to call it, did such a great job. It was some new stories, right? It wasn't the same rehashing. It wasn't retconning a lot of stuff, right? It was going forward and telling a really good story. I think it was excellent execution of setting things up and knocking them down, explaining things to your audience, even just the next week. So you're not constantly thinking about theories and stuff like that. You're just enjoying the ride that you're going on. And I thought the ending was extremely satisfying. And even the fact that it was ambiguous at the end as to whether Angela has the powers of Dr. Manhattan or not, I found it to be a satisfying story all the way through. And while I would love to continue to tell stories within that world, I'd be okay if we don't. I really enjoyed this as a one-off story, one-off scenario. It hits a lot of the big major characters that you want to know about. I thought it did a great job.
That's exactly why I want more.
Right, but I'd be okay if we didn't.
Yeah, I mean, will I survive? Yeah, sure. But like, it was a really good show, like good enough to warrant, I think, a second watch at some point soon.
Oh yes, I agree with that.
But like, there's got to be more. I mean, there has to be more.
But does there? I mean, honestly, does there? Did we think that there was more after we watched Watchmen? After we got Watchmen, did we think that there was more?
Well, yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, absolutely. Because, you know, Rorschach sent the thing to the paper, and there's certainly more to happen after that. So, yeah. Does she walk on water? I don't know.
Well, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. I want someone to tell me.
Well, what did you hope for?
On screen.
When she got the egg and she put her foot on the pool. What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know.
You have no guesses, no ideas. You would rather have the
either she would fall in or walk on water.
Right.
I have no way of knowing unless I see it.
In all of life, those are the two options that you have.
That's what I'm saying. So I need to see it.
Okay.
Yes or no?
Did you mind the fact it was ambiguous at the end?
No, I didn't mind that it was ambiguous. I just think that this is a story that you can take further.
Yes.
Than Tulsa.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely see yourself zooming out and
That's
seeing other parts.
Really, all I'm saying.
But I the thing with this was Dr. Manhattan is a force that just lingers over anything Watchmen because he is a god, right? I mean, it's like how they have to nerf Superman and like we got to have kryptonite. Someone's got to weaken Superman, otherwise, if you put Superman in a situation, I mean, how do you win? Like it's Superman. Dr. Manhattan's this. I mean, a level beyond that. So having him still around, having someone who has those powers, has those capabilities, could just be the thing you pull out of your hat at any moment. Be like, well, we'll change the rules, or we'll do something, or don't worry, it's fine. It's Dr. Manhattan. You can't kill it. So I like that's the thing. If we end with her having those powers, like we're back to this again. At any moment, I just want to see Dr. Manhattan. You can't just not have that part of the story.
Well, you can if she has the powers and decides that she doesn't want to do anything with them other than maybe set a few things right historically, and that can be done without the power or even revealing herself. I mean, it's one of those like you got the story you got because Manhattan fucked off to Mars, right? As far as the world,
right?
So who's to say that the same thing couldn't happen again? Or the a similar, obviously whole different set of circumstances now. But I mean, she doesn't seem like she'd want that power,
right?
Necessarily.
But
like you eat an egg and then you go, oh, but did I really I just did it to see if I could walk on water. I didn't know it was going to turn me into a god. And like watching her come to grips with that might be kind of cool.
Okay. Kind of that struggle of, well, like I have these powers. So like, but then we're back to like, with great power comes great responsibility kind of thing. You have to do something with them. You can't just sit on the sidelines and let.
Right. But one of the last things that really stuck with me was the sort of the look on her kid's face when he saw the Sister Night costume.
Right.
So, what if she fucks off to Mars for 20 years and we see another story that has the kids? I don't know.
But then as someone abandoned, well, I mean,
I'm not a screenwriter. Ask Brian what he would do.
All right. Well, tell me, I mean, besides obviously I'm focusing on the ending of this story, right? Because that's where I think there's a lot of things going on there. But what was like your big takeaway, or what was the part of the series that you enjoyed the most? What did go ahead.
The story? I mean, I don't know how else to. There wasn't. I'm not going to pick out one piece because the wonderful thing about Watchmen, the book, and now and obviously the movie, and now this is that all the stories tie together. It's really it's a giant story about how one thing affects another, and we're all tied together. So this was Tulsa. This is the things that happened in Tulsa. Yeah. What happened in, I don't know, Scottsdale, Arizona. I don't know.
Right.
Anywhere. What happened anywhere else? You could like True Detective this thing where you just go to a different city.
That's a true point. Yeah. I never thought about it that way.
Right. Because who's to say the same stuff or similar stuff with different twists maybe, because you had Don Johnson and the senator guy and they each had their department to run.
Right.
As a part of a bigger, more nefarious plan. There are giant shadow organizations. I mean, This is just one piece of it.
Well, it's the same thing. Like we didn't get the closure on Night Owl. We didn't get a closure on a couple other characters, I guess, from the movie itself. So, I mean, maybe you could also kind of explore some of those old characters too, or just kind of show what that world is like without them. Like, what does New York look like right now? But
and if Laurie Blake is, the head of a anti-vigilante task force, she must be in other cities doing the same thing.
Right.
So there's got to be this stuff happening elsewhere. Just go to a different city. Show me that story.
I'm apprehensive about this because my exposure to Damon Lindelof has not always ended favorably. Not a fan of Lost, not a fan of The Leftovers, like very worried about the way in which he normally tells stories. Just kind of the way that his mind likes to work and explain that stuff to us. But this show was just such a hit. It was such a home run, and it was so good that if they just said, and there's never a second season, I'd be okay. But if they say there's a second season, it needs to kind of live up to this one, and that's a tough bar to clear.
Also, who's to say Manhattan wasn't in love with 10 women in 10 different places?
Right?
At 10 different times. Who's to say?
Yeah. I thought he did.
So,
I thought he couldn't see past. Well, I guess in the past. I get what you're talking about. That's true.
I
don't know. Just spitball. Okay. Anyway.
You asked me for ideas.
I do. I appreciate that. Seriously, 10 out of 10 for Watchmen. Must watch. Go do it. And I think I am going to watch it again. Just kind of pick up on stuff that I didn't catch on the first few.
Yep.
Josh, you put this into the show notes here, and I'm hoping you can guide me through this a little bit, because anytime this topic comes up, I get a little testy and I need to be running. Todd Phillips clears up a big mystery about the ambiguous Joker ending.
What was ambiguous about the Joker ending?
I don't know what was ambiguous about it.
I didn't think it was ambiguous at all. I thought it was pretty definitive.
But, well, okay. I didn't like this ending. And for many, many, many reasons. But the thing is with this is they're saying, what the gist of this is, maybe it wasn't
You're saying
real.
the speculative, was this just a fantasy?
No, I think the fact that we have to have an article come out to explain the ending to the movie, and that the movie couldn't clearly tell me that this ending was phrased this way, that gets me angry. The fact that I have to read a supplemental piece of information to say, well, maybe it was all a dream, maybe it was all fake, which is like the biggest slap in the face to an audience when you invest in something. Like this doesn't help me out. Shutter Island, right, shows you all the stuff that said, ha, all in his head and craziness. Don't believe shit. If this movie wants to do that, do it in the movie. Don't do it in the follow-up work. Don't do it in your press tour.
But they did.
But they didn't.
But they did.
They did for one aspect. They did for one thing, that his girlfriend wasn't his girlfriend.
And that, I mean, and he played out the appearance on the show while sitting there watching TV. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
but I mean that part was clearly a fantasy. What this is saying is that the things that I had a gripe about this movie, the riot, the praising him, all that they said is made up in his head.
They played out the relationship with the girlfriend. They played out the stand-up act. They played out the appearance on the De Niro show there. I can't remember the name. Like, every single thing that this guy did, he had his delusions, right? And so they did that. There's nothing to say that the whole movie wasn't that.
The quote from Todd Phillips that I have here, and tell me there's maybe a different one, and I'm just cherry picking something to help my argument here, says there's many ways to look at the movie. He may not be the Joker. This may just be a version of a Joker origin story. This is just a version of this guy in this room at a mental institution, and I don't know that he's the most reliable narrator in the world. You know what I'm saying? No, Todd Phillips. I don't know. This seems lazy to me.
The movie made a literal bajillion dollars.
Yes. It had a budget of $9 nickels. I made more than that. Like, I get it made its profitability back.
No, what I'm saying is that's why you're seeing articles about it. Because any movie that makes $1 billion, people are going to ask questions. Like, I wonder what if. And what I said to you and Brian after I watched the movie was, if you remove Gotham and the Wayne family references, this is a really good movie about a dude descending into madness.
Absolutely.
But regardless, with or without Gotham and the Wayne references, this is not the Joker.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care how you frame it up. I don't care what city you put him in, how many different connections he may have to Thomas Wayne, the Wayne family, interactions with Bruce. This is not the Joker that we know.
Right.
No version of it. It's not an origin story. This is not the Joker at all. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't care. I don't care whether it was all a fiction he created and he's the narrator of this. I don't care. I thought it was an entertaining movie. I liked the way it ended. I don't care if that's just a postscript to him blowing somebody's head off, or if that's just what he wanted to do and that was his big reveal to the world, except it never happened because he's a nut bar and he's institutionalized. I don't care.
So let me ask a follow-up question for this. If let's just say, right, he's an unreliable narrator and everything that happened prior to the very end of him smoking, going, well, you just won't understand, was all bullshit, right? All exaggerated stuff.
Isn't the unreliable narrator like it's a whole literary device?
Whole thing. Let's just say all of that then is true. I'll give it to Todd Phillips that like the riot never happened. No one praised him. Okay. And that eliminates my complaint at that point. The moment though, after that, after he's done telling the story, he still kills the doctor and is running around the insane asylum, right? That is still fact then, because that's after the part of the unreliable narrator is done. Right?
Or he's still just dreaming about it.
That's the question. So is the psychiatrist dead at the end of that movie or not?
Who knows? Who cares?
Well, that's the thing, that we're done then with the narration, right? We catch up to the narrator at the end of his story, smoking the cigarette, stuck in that room with that psychologist.
Or maybe he's sitting in front of a TV drooling.
See, yeah.
No, dude. I mean, you can't. I don't understand why it needs to be defined.
Because you can't break it up and end that paradigm of, okay, now we're done with the unreliable narrator, but be like, oh, by the way, the whole story is all completely fake. Even the very end,
I think they did a really good job. They did a really good job of discrediting his perception of everything. So you don't think that throughout the movie they did a good job of discrediting Arthur's perception of everything around?
No, I think they did a job. I don't think they did a good job.
Really?
Yes. As soon as I get the fantasy moments that we have, I get the girlfriend thing. I just thought it was lazy. I don't buy it. I don't. I have problems with this movie. And again, I'm with you. If they didn't call this Joker, I'd probably be way less harsh on this movie. I would probably be more on board if it wasn't called Joker.
But it is called Joker.
I know. So I have to take it with what it is.
But it's not the Joker.
Which I think is stupid, too.
Why?
Because then we're back to the Gotham TV show that we have on Fox or whatever, where...
I don't know anything about it.
Right, but this one character is pretty much the Joker. He's pretty much the Joker. He does the smiling, does the laughing, cuts off his face and flips it, does all the shit that's in the Joker stories, right? And they're like, oh, JK, he's not the Joker. There's only one! This guy is not a copycat. There's only one! You can't do that. The guy who kills the Waynes, right? The guy who kills their parents, not named. We don't know who the fuck he is. And then you're just saying, but that's not connected to the Joker. But there's another Joker. There's another Joker. There's two Mr. Freezes. Don't ignore this first Mr. Freeze. He's not really Mr. Freeze. This is the real Mr. Freeze. You can't do that.
I understand what you're saying, but every single place that we have like any sort of like reference to the Joker, it's always the Joker,
right?
Okay, it's never Joker. It's always the Joker. I'm serious. Yes, in this instance, I'm going to say language is important,
right?
And because the Joker is a brand,
correct? Yes, I'm with you so far. I'm on board.
So call the movie Joker. It's not the Joker. It is not the brand. It is not. There's nothing about this character that leads me to believe he could ever pull off anything the Joker pulled off.
Correct. I agree with you on this too.
And because of that, I don't mind. Like it's not. Look, I liked the movie very much. Because at no point in the movie, while watching the movie, was I willing to accept that this was the Joker. So like.
See, this is the other part, too, because then you go to Joaquin Phoenix, right? In the same interview, or a different interview. I should apologize. A different interview. Joaquin Phoenix is saying that Arthur is the real Joker. But then he added, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. Like,
dude,
So are we not in? I mean, these two were supposed to be very tight together, right? Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix were supposed to be hand in hand for this project.
I think what
to
you're
deliver
reading,
their vision, and the fact that Joaquin Phoenix says, "No, I really am the Joker, the one that fights Batman all the time, the archenemy of the Batman." But I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion.
I think you're reading an article that Joaquin Phoenix he participated in, thought he might have been a part of, but that was all a delusion.
That's just my opinion.
I legitimately think Joaquin Phoenix is a crazy person.
Well,
so
I can believe that too.
All right, so we're back to an unreliable narrator. Like
but at the end, I don't think
there's nothing in this movie that leads me to believe that.
But I think we're arguing different points at this point.
This is the arch nemesis of Batman. This is not the Joker. This is just some guy people call Joker.
See, and I'm saying I don't care about the Batman and Batman are. The Dark Knight, they called him the Batman. They don't call him Batman. They called him the Batman. The Batman. Like that. Like Heath Ledger calls him the Batman. Gordon calls him the Batman. It's still Batman, right? It's still Bruce Wayne being the Batman, right? It's Batman. We just put a "the" in front of it. I don't think that nullifies. There we go. I looked it up. They called him the Batman. Therefore, throw it all out. It's not the same. Chris Nolan, you get a pass. It doesn't work that way.
The Batman is an American animated television series produced by Warner Bros.
Right, that's another one too. They also have the Batman, but he's referred to in the Dark Knight saga as the Batman.
I understand that. I'm saying the brand Batman is Batman. You can call him the Batman because it's in like they've done it.
That's the same thing with the Joker.
No. Even if you went to the Wikipedia page for Joker, not the movie,
right,
the comic book character.
Yes.
I have never seen an instance of this character that wasn't the Joker.
But what I'm saying is, okay, two separate points we're arguing about. Number one, I don't think that makes a fucking difference. I get what you're getting at, and that's the loophole to say that's not the guy who fights the Batman.
Is Coca-Cola the same thing as New Coke?
No, but Coca-Cola is the same thing as Coke, right? Two different. Coca-Cola is the same thing as Coke. Not the Pablo Escobar version.
I think Coke was the brand. I thought Coke was the brand of New Coke.
No, I don't think so. Because Coca-Cola, whatever. No, it doesn't matter. When I order it, I call it a Coke. Do you have Coke? I do have Coke.
I think.
Why are we arguing about semantics?
Because I'm saying the entire thing is about brand.
See, and I guess this is the other part. My problem is if we're going to use the unreliable narrator thing, we got to make it explicit. It's why it works in The Usual Suspects. It's why it works in Shutter Island. That's why it works in movies that do that, is we show the parts that were completely unreliable. In this movie, we showed one aspect of it that wasn't reliable. That was the girlfriend, and I'll give you maybe the second one of he had fantasies about being on that show with Robert De Niro. But I don't think a dream sequence counts as unreliable. It was clearly a dream sequence. But at the end, he still kills that psychiatrist. He's still running through. He did not say that the parade, the riots, the praise that he got for killing those people was fake. And that part wasn't made clear. Not ambiguous. It wasn't made clear. And that's a problem for me. And for that reason, I'm out. I'm obviously still passionate about this. I still get in fights with people about the Joker. And again, I've had amazing conversations, especially with a few of you listeners, about this movie who are slowly starting to chip away at my hatred for it and making me open to at least a different interpretation or different things to come through. But at the end of the day, I still have problems with it. I am very glad, Josh, that you did enjoy it. I'm glad that people are at least getting something out of it. But when I see something like this kind of comes into my larger scope of I shouldn't have supplemental reading before or after a movie to completely enjoy the movie. I should be able to just walk into the movie that I'm there and go, got it, that I shouldn't have to read it.
And you can. The supplemental reading isn't for you, CJ.
Okay. I'll stop reading it then. Let's turn to this, though.
It's for people that are, it's comic book guy. You pointed out.
But it is not the Joker, therefore. All right, I get you. All right.
Right.
Let's pull on to this because I think we can agree in some hate together. Or just in general, just some hey, we should scrutinize this. 11 superheroes who define the decade on screen. Oh,
This list pissed me off.
I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one, man, and I'll follow your lead. Go ahead. What we got going on here?
All right. The Washington Post, in what can only be described as irresponsible journalism. David Betancourt, November 26, 2019, at 7 a.m., posted this 11 superheroes who defined the decade on screen. From Iron Man to one of the Watchmen. Well, you've already kind of lost me because one of the Watchmen is not a superhero. She's not a superhero.
Okay.
Sister Knight is not a superhero.
She's a vigilante?
Vigilante.
Okay.
Not a superhero.
All right.
Okay.
I'm with you
so
so
I've
far.
already got a problem. Then.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
And I'm afraid to ask this, but I'm going to ask it.
Mm.
What makes a superhero, Josh?
I think they need to have some sort of superpower, which also would disqualify Iron Man and Batman.
Okay. That's what I wanted to make sure we were.
Okay. Now, it's their technology and money allows them to do superhuman things.
Yes.
So
we're not going to loophole but say intellect is a superpower, right? That's not
I'm not going to do that. That's not, and I'm not going to argue Batman is not a superhero.
Right. This is
I'm not
age-old nerd fight, but I'm with you so far.
I'm not getting into that. I'm saying that Sister Knight is not a superhero, and I think pretty much anybody can get behind that.
So we're really taking 3 people off of this list, right? So we're really saying 9 superheroes who defined a decade? Because we're going to kick out Iron Man and Batman and Sister Knight?
And you'd have to kick out Green Arrow, too.
Yes, you would. And then I guess you also have to kick out, I mean, honestly, Black Panther, too, right? Because that's the suit that makes him. He's
no.
He does have a superpower. You are correct.
That's right.
Yes,
he's got superpowers. It's the same reason you can't kick out Captain America. But again, I'm not kicking out Batman or Iron Man.
Right.
I'm not kicking out Green Arrow. Not for that reason. For another reason. The thing that probably pissed me off the most about this list is that they have Stephen Amell on here and not Grant Gustin. Like,
yeah, anyway, wait a minute. Well,
what on earth? Why or no? Well, what?
Well, the reason
what about Arrow is better than Flash?
I don't think that's the point.
Other than he got there one season earlier.
That's it.
No.
Yes,
no,
because listen, I agree with you. In all sincerity, I would put Grant Gustin's Flash above Stephen Amell's Green Arrow. Like any day of the goddamn week, right?
I put Grant Gustin's Flash above most of this list.
Sure. I think the point that they're making, and I don't agree, I'm just reiterating the point that this author is making, is that if it wasn't for Green Arrow, Stephen Amell, we have no Flash. Ergo, hold on. Then he defined it. He started the thing. Okay.
No, because if it wasn't for Flash, we don't have anything more than Arrow.
I think you're being very generous with the 3. Correct. Yes.
So because it wasn't season 3 when they started crossing over.
Yeah, but I'm saying they probably wouldn't have had that 3rd season if they didn't say,
right.
Oh, by the way, we're going to Flash over. We're going to cross over Flash.
So what I'm saying is you can't, I don't think that argument holds water at all. Christian was incensed. He was so fired up about Flash not being on the list. And then we get to Jason Momoa.
Yeah, I'm not with this one.
What on earth are these people thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. Roku Man is not on my list of superheroes that defined the decade on screen. It's not Aquaman.
I will give you Hugh Jackman.
Yes, I think Hugh Jackman. Thank you. Oh my God, really? You're gonna give me Hugh Jackman? This is so nice.
I have to.
Yes,
I have to because without Hugh Jackman, we don't have X-Men movies.
So may I read the list real quick for our listeners who aren't going to dig through this?
This is fucking ridiculous.
Okay, so here's the list of the superheroes they have on here. They've got Iron Man, played by Robert Downey Jr.
Absolutely.
Batman, Christian Bale.
Absolutely.
Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman. Captain America, Chris Evans. Green Arrow, Stephen Amell. Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds. Okay. Aquaman, Jason Momoa. No way. Completely wrong. Spider-Man, Tom Holland.
Just every Spider-Man.
But this decade, this decade. It's Tom Holland.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think we're fighting for what's his face? Andrew Garfield.
How about Chris Pine? I can fight for Chris Pine.
But Chris Pine wasn't a superhero.
He was Spider-Man.
No, he wasn't. In the voice. All right,
yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
I fight for Nick Cage.
Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. Don't you fucking dare. Wolverine. Hold on. Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, and Sister Knight, played by Regina King.
You know what? If you want to put her 1985 Buick Grand National in there, I would take that over her.
That car is a fucking beast.
That car is amazing.
That is a beautiful car.
Yeah.
Yep. I had to Google it to figure out what the fuck it was. I was like, I've never seen.
You didn't know what that was?
I've never seen one before.
Oh, dude! As soon as I saw it, I went Grand National.
I've never seen one in public in real life, and then I learned
there's
why I
There's
never
one
saw
in my neighborhood, right around the corner from my house. That's the car that's what I wanted to be my first car when I was a kid.
Here's the one that I think is a more glaring omission is that we don't have Daredevil on this list. Let's get rid of the fuck out of Aquaman, and we need to put Daredevil on here.
Right. So, and I think you have to have Daredevil because he introduced a whole Netflix. I really think that Daredevil brought a ton of watchers.
Yeah.
To Netflix.
And Charlie Cox did a great job with the character.
Did an amazing job.
Amazing job.
Look, Robert Downey Jr. They built Marvel on Iron Man.
Yes.
So absolutely. I could do without Black Panther on here.
I disagree. Shuri. I think everything that happened with Black Panther is going to lead the next 10 years.
No, I get that, and it may, but like, did he really define anything that happened in the last decade? No, not really.
I want to go that.
So I'm just using your argument.
I get what you're saying. I'm saying he set up the next, just like we built Marvel on Robert Downey Jr. We're building this on.
We can talk about him in 10 years, but we certainly can't do it now.
All right, for this decade. Okay,
right.
All right. I see your point.
Can't do it. Stephen Amell, go away. And I really like Stephen Amell, but Grant Gustin, that's a huge oversight. Ryan Reynolds only because it's rated R.
Is that what I mean? I mean, honestly, I love Ryan Reynolds.
It's the first and only. Well, not only because Logan,
right?
But I mean, yeah, it really wasn't done before that. So that was kind of a big deal.
Also, side note, we got official confirmation Deadpool 3 is being made by Marvel Studios, and it is in production.
It's not going to be rated R, or
don't know about that yet, but they are doing it.
Right, but
under the Marvel Studios banner is what I've read.
Probably not going to be rated R.
We'll have to see.
And like, if you're going to put somebody else from DC in here, it's not going to be Aquaman.
Yeah, why?
It's got to be Superman. It's got to be Henry Cavill.
I would have even more problems with that. Why is Aquaman on the list? What was their thinking with this?
I have no idea.
The fact that he just made Aquaman cool, because I mean, it really did. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think it made him.
I mean, compared to what I've been exposed to for Aquaman, he did. He also made him a bro, my man. But okay, I don't get it.
No,
I mean, he made $1 billion, didn't he? It's $1 billion. I think that's why. Tom Holland's way too low on this list.
And as much as I dislike Hugh Jackman, we wouldn't have X-Men movies without Wolverine, without that success. Yes. So, yeah, and get Sister Knight off there. She has no business. She has less business than Stephen Amell has. Because I mean, it goes right against the premise it goes against the title of the article. How did she define the decade? How?
Oh, it's too early to tell.
Too early to tell? She came in at the 11th hour.
I don't think but with the exception of The Flash, I don't think there's glaring omissions in this list. I think there's I don't understand Jason Momoa. But mine just have had to get $1 billion. It's the one thing I'm like really just squirrely on. Of just saying, I don't know, man. He didn't do shit. I get he's trying to help out Hawaii as well. I guess he's trying to. I get that he's trying to bring the awareness for the ocean life, and it's great. But like, it's really not. Like, Aquaman did not change the world. And I'll be honest, with the exception of Gal Gadot and Wonder Woman, DC didn't define shit this decade. They didn't shape the conversation.
I am a fan of Henry Cavill as Superman. So I'm going to disagree a little bit there.
But how did that shape how did Henry Cavill shape the conversation? Besides the fact that he's just a good actor, what did he do to change the way in which we see superheroes?
I loved Man of Steel.
Yes. And how did that change superheroes?
I thought he was an incredibly human Superman.
He was a murderer.
Incredibly human. Way more so than Christopher Reeve.
Okay.
So I really, really, really like that aspect of the character and that aspect of the story. So I'm a fan. I think he needs to be on this list.
We humanize the deity. Is that what we're saying?
You said the glaring omission was Grant Gustin, but you also added earlier Charlie Cox as Daredevil.
I think that should be on there too. Yep.
It has to be
100%.
on this list. And the only reason I'm not bringing up John Bernthal as the Punisher is because it was so late in the decade, it can't be at point classified as defining.
Right.
But he is my favorite Netflix Marvel character.
I would love to hear, listener, what do you think about your list, or if you have your own and you think that you've got something that maybe we missed. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Well, before we leave this week, there is one thing we have to do. It's my favorite hobby. It's where we go around the internet, find the weird, find the obscure, and I ask this Yahoo right here for his tech perspective. So there's a product for everything now, right? It's always something to make your life a little bit more convenient. Josh, you have preached that we need to take back our time. Well, yes. It is time now to reclaim the process of eating cereal while you're on the go with the CrunchCup. That's right, no spoon, CrunchCup. No bowl, no spoon, just a cup, CrunchCup. It's a way to eat cereal on the go.
It sure is.
And I hate every single thing about this.
Why?
Because part of the cereal eating experience, which, by the way, don't eat cereal. Just we can all agree.
No,
don't eat cereal. Cereal is just chock full of sugar and crap for you, isn't that?
Don't eat sugar cereals.
Okay, all right, sugar cereals.
I think you've been eating too many sugar cereals.
That's probably. Okay, fine. The part of the cereal experience is the milk, and the cereal is changing the texture a little bit, also changing the flavor of the milk. It's a ritual that Cocoa Puffs only works when Cocoa Puffs are in the drink, right? When they're in the milk.
Cocoa Puffs are gross. Cocoa Puffs are gross.
Just stay with me here.
If you like Cocoa Puffs, you should eat chocolate checks. They're better.
Okay, so chocolate checks still changes the milk, does it not? To a chocolatey milk?
Yes, I could. So I could not eat cereal this way.
Okay, so the way this cup works is you fill it with your favorite cereal, which is a tube that goes in the middle. Then you fill it in with milk, so obviously the displacement of the cereal isn't overflowing.
Well, you fill the milk in the big cup, okay, and then you insert a smaller cup that's going to hold your dry cereal, goods there, yes. And that's in the lid that screws on is the dry goods.
Correct. Yes.
So if well, for any of you listeners that have children, or maybe you just watch a lot of Nickelodeon or whatever, you've probably heard of Snackies.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a Snackies for grown-ups, right? So there's no straw, and because how would you eat the cereal?
Right. How do you eat the cereal there, Josh?
It pours like a coffee cup. So you're gonna pour some of the dry goods out of the top there, which like it has this little like trash can lid opening thing, and then there's a normal sort of coffee spout contraption that the milk's gonna come out of. Look, so it logistically. Like, in theory, this thing could work.
Right.
Okay.
I want you to put this into the world and realize that this is...
I have a couple problems with it, and I will go into those.
Please.
Logistically, this could work given the right cereal. Like, this would be fine. I'd say for something like Rice Krispies, it would be fine. For Cheerios, very small cereal. Yes. This would not be okay for Captain Crunch because you cannot eat Captain Crunch without it sitting in milk, lest you tear apart your whole milk.
Correct. Same thing with like a Fruit Loop. You can do it with a Fruit Loop.
Well, you could do it with a Fruit Loop because they're not all
too big, and you need the milk to soften them up.
So my favorite cereals are like Crispix. I love Crispix.
Love Crispix. It's really good.
Which this would be a good candidate for, except Crispix are big, and I don't know if I don't know if the milk to cereal ratio. I'm a big milk to cereal ratio.
Yes, I agree with you.
Spoon.
Yes.
Okay.
You're in control of that.
My other favorite cereal, this would not work for. Okay, so Special K Red Berries. because there's no way to control your strawberry to flake distribution there ratio.
I'm with you on this, ironically enough. Yes.
So like this would not work for me, but I think for very many people, this is a viable solution. I think $20 is a bit much.
You think $20 is a bit much? Joshua, besides the other problems that I'm going to get to, let me talk about the price. Because right now, listener, by the time you listen to this episode, it is not $19.95. It is going to be $30, Joshua.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's 33% off for the next 4 hours from the time that we're recording this. So it's already gone, people. It's $30. Yep. It's $30. Here's my problem with this as well. You've covered everything else. The cereal to milk ratio, picking the right cereal for this. Also, most of these people are in their homes during this footage here, the picture. So get a fucking bowl. You're not in the car. Here's my bigger problem. Most thermoses, thermi, I don't know what the plural of thermos is.
I think thermos.
Thermoses, which keep something cool longer, are not made of a plastic, right?
Well, this isn't supposed to keep your milk
but
cold,
that's the problem. Your hand is hot. This is why you hold.
That's a plus for me. I rather.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, I don't want ice cold milk.
No,
get that shit out of here.
You're getting warm milk.
Dude, I would
like
rather pour. Like, I'll pour milk into like a measuring cup and let it sit on the counter before I.
Oh God,
absolutely.
No.
I do not want ice cold milk. I don't want it.
I don't know how to respond to that.
I don't want it. Like, and if I'm gonna drink the cereal milk, I'm gonna let it just sit in the bowl.
Oh my God, no. First off, I hate drinking cereal milk. While I'm eating the cereal, I'm down for that. As soon as I'm out of cereal, I'm not drinking that milk. Even
by the way, if for you listeners that like cereal milk, Milk Bar in Manhattan, they have it bottled.
And warm milk? Or like room
I didn't say warm. I didn't say
temperature
warm.
Milk.
Coming up to room temperature is absolutely fine. No issue there whatsoever. I will say this, and I think the big thing that's been overlooked here is that this company really could be putting Clark Griswold straight out of a job. There's no way anybody would be using his non-nutritive cereal varnish if all the cereal is going to be consumed out of a CrunchCup.
What?
Clark Griswold. He worked on that non-nutritive cereal varnish. Yeah, sure did.
I do not like those movies because
I don't
wait, listen.
I don't think we can do this anymore.
Put the headphones back on, Josh.
I don't think we can do
I
this
don't like people who are in comfortable situations that are made by it's why I don't like Meet the Fockers. It's why I don't like those. I don't like people in uncomfortable situations.
It's my favorite kind of movie.
I can't stand that. You know how you can't stand people chewing loudly? Which, by the way, if I have a crunch cup, I'm fucking crunching in your goddamn
I got to the point where in the video here that's like all ASMR, and I went, no!
Right. I have that aversion. You know how you want to punch people? Like you would punch
babies. I want to punch.
You would punch never mind. You would punch anybody in that situation. I would rather punch my way out of an uncomfortable situation than have to deal with it like that. Anyway, you're a monster for liking semi room temperature milk. Ice cold in there for the win. This is ridiculous. This cup in general, just stop. We are not children. We can eat out of a bowl. Take the time, plan your day. Also, $30 retail price. Are you kidding me? Get out of here.
Yeah, that's a little.
That's a little.
Price point's insane.
Even 20 you said was a bit too much.
Yeah, I'm saying it's crazy. It's crazy talk.
Do we just make this a nerd degree? We should make this nerd degree. What are you gonna rate this, Josh?
I'm gonna rate this. This is the substance. I'm gonna call it the substance that is left in the snackies that the child left in a car on a hot weekend, and you've discovered it Monday morning.
This to me is equivalent to the powder that is left on the bottom of a cereal bag, but you thought you had more cereal than you did, and you dumped it into your bowl. It's the equivalent to cereal pulp.
I like the powder.
Oh God, no!
Because it adds to the texture of the cereal milk.
Oh God, no! It's like pulp and orange juice. It's disgusting.
Yes, I want to chew my juice.
You know what? After we talked about the Joker, I should have known you were a pulp drinker. I should have known.
I'm a pulp drinker. Zoe, when she was, I don't know, it was a few years ago, she was like, Daddy, I want orange juice. Get orange juice, but make sure it's the depulpinated orange juice. It's called pulp free. She's like, depulpinated? Okay.
Yes.
I love chewing my juice.
I've learned so much.
Adjective
I've learned
that is not
so
often
much about you in this episode that I thought I should have known by now. Before I committed to 4 years of podcasting and almost 10 years of friendship now.
What we in the biz call it denouement.
I should have known. Ridiculous. Cereal, drinking milk. All right, fine.
Yeah.
All right, listener, thank you so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work. We will be back next week. Brian will be joining us, and we will talk to you next week.
Well, welcome to the club because you are that kind of nerd.
Why is clapping such a hard activity?
You know, it's clapping into the mic. What's funny is I have an incredibly loud clap, but I have no structure to it. You know what I mean? When I'm aiming, there's a problem.
I never do the clap, right? I don't do the clap for us to sync it up. And anytime, you and Brian, you alternate between it, depending on what the recording situation is. And someone always has a misfire. And I just don't understand it. It's just
because we're trying to aim the clap into a mic whilst not hitting the mic.
How hard was that?
It was hard.
It's very cheerleader difficult. Claps. You have to cup the hands like two C's.
I have to do jazz hands to prepare.
Here's the trick. Make your hands like a Lego character's hands.
Are you crip walking right now?
That's how you clap.
What's happening?
No, like a Lego hand.
Stop crip walking. Stop it.
All right. Also, got me a seltzer. I'm trying the Giant brand this week. Excuse me.
Your Giant brand
This
seltzer?
is the Giant brand seltzer. They have a very colorful...
What's that? What's the actual brand? It's not Giant, right?
Oh, no, it's Giant. No, it's Giant.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Giant. It's not the what's it called? The Nature's Promise. It's not that.
Oh.
The straight Giant. Their cans kind of look like South American money. Very colorful. The flavor's okay.